Hey everyone, I'm Jager. I'm one of the co-founders of Your Pura Vida, and you're going to be seeing my fellow co-founder Aaron Bailey and I a lot on these videos. So we figured maybe we'd shoot our own videos so you could get to know us a little bit better. So we've come up with 10 questions we're both going to answer, and hopefully this will give you a little bit more about us. So first question, basic information. I'm in my 50s. I have a background in media communications and public relations. I have been married for 27 years, together for 30 years this week. I have a son who graduated college in 2023 with a double major. Yeah, I think that's it for me for basic information. Is Your Pura Vida your day job? Your Pura Vida is one of my day jobs. I come from an entertainment background. I'm a television producer by trade and background. I've also been a publicist and vice president of marketing, all kinds of different things. Everything I do is about helping people rethink story, their personal story, their business story, their media story, their entertainment story. And I love to build that. I have produced a lot of television shows, won a bunch of awards for that. I've helped develop networks. I help companies with their branding. So I do a lot of different things, kind of the jack of all trades in that regard. Building Your Pura Vida is part of that. And it's the same thing. I want people to learn their story of being able to move to Costa Rica and then thrive in Costa Rica. So yeah, this is becoming more and more my day job in a very good way. Have you lived abroad before? I have. I lived in Vienna, Austria. I studied there in college, and then I got in a relationship and moved back and lived there off and on for several years. It was an amazing time. I explored almost every country in Europe. Spent a lot of time in the former Soviet bloc, Northern Africa. I love to travel and I love to meet new people. So yeah, that's a great part of my life. Or have you visited Costa Rica before you decided to move here? I had. First time I came here was in 1995 with my family. My 4 brothers and sisters, my mom and stepdad. We came down here for a very adventure-filled trip. Infrastructure was nowhere near what it is today. It was quite surprising coming from the States, and I absolutely loved it. And then I brought my family back to see if they liked Costa Rica. So we had done some exploring before we decided to move here. Why did you decide on Costa Rica? You know, there's a lot of reasons. One is there's the natural beauty. I mean, look at where we are. That's incredible. Tied to that, the beauty of the people that live here and the community and the culture and just this Pura Vida lifestyle, which is really not just about pure living. It's a philosophy that you're okay with the way things are. You love people, you care for people, you're polite. Also, proximity. You know, we are in the central time zone, not during daylight savings time. During daylight savings time, Costa Rica actually joins mountain time zone. But if you're working, it's an easy way to work here. I also love that it's an easy flight. It's just a few hours to Texas. You can get to Florida, Georgia, Colorado, California, Washington State, New York, all direct. It makes coming and going to get back home for things I have to do in the States or for business I have to do in the States, that makes it quite easy. What has been the hardest thing about moving here? Whoa. You know, that changes by the day. I think the hardest thing is just differences, cultural differences, language barrier differences at times, the mile versus kilometer, you know, conversion differences, expectation differences. You know, we expect things a certain way, and when they don't turn out that way because that's not how it's done here, I think that's really hard for people. That's definitely been hard for me. Learning to let go of expectation and be okay with the way things are, not the way I want them to be, has been both humbling and gratifying once I figure that out. As I do, the hard gets less hard. There's still hard days, don't get me wrong. When the power goes out, it's hard. When your car breaks down, it's hard. Even harder here because there's no AAA. But everything's getting easier as I start to understand it more. Have you found work-life balance since you've moved to Costa Rica? I think I'm getting there. I'm a workaholic. I like to have a lot of things on my plate. That's a very American thing or a very Western thing. And a lot of my Tico friends laugh at me for that, or at least make sure they comment about it. But I think I am getting balance. This time of year it rains in the afternoons, so if I want to get a hike in, I have to stop earlier so I can get that done. I'm learning to prioritize around the way things work here, not the way things work in the States. So yeah, I think I'm getting work-life balance. I think for me, it's going to take me a really long time. I can't imagine myself ever retiring because I just go stir crazy. But I love to garden. I love to watch wildlife. Just before I recorded this, the monkeys were playing up in the trees, and I get to do that now. That's pretty amazing. Do you feel lonely? Oof. That's a hard one to answer, but the answer is yes. There are times I feel lonely. I think anytime you move, there's a tendency to feel lonely until you find community, and that's definitely true here. Language barrier at times makes me lonely. Isolation of where I live makes me lonely. But as I build community, that all is changing as well. Thank God for WhatsApp and Zoom and FaceTime and text and phone calls. I'm getting less lonely. Are you happy you moved? Well, the answer to that is absolutely. Yeah, there are days I doubt it and days I question what the hell did I do, but overall, I'm ecstatic. When I remember the reasons I moved and I remember the purpose behind the moves, I'm even happier. What advice would you give others thinking about moving to Costa Rica or anywhere? So, honest confession, we created a whole company, or Pura Vida, specifically for this. Our entire purpose is to help people figure out if this is the right place for them, lean into their dream, figure out how to move here, and then how to thrive once they are here. So I have a lot of advice on this because this is what I am building as a career. That said, I have one major piece of advice, which is learn to separate dream from reality. And what I mean by that is, I think a lot of us dream that we're going to live on the beach in Costa Rica, drinking coconut water out of a coconut and the palm trees swaying, and that's going to be our life. Well, for me, the reality is it's too hot at the beach, it's too crowded, it's too touristy, it's too far away from urban areas, and my business tends to be in the Central Valley, my clients. So the beach doesn't make sense. Once I start to think through what I need, proximity to healthcare, temperate weather, good grocery store, and I started to narrow down my search for where my community might be. Being honest about that, not trying to dream into reality, but create your reality and make that your dream place. That is really, I think, my best piece of advice. My second best piece of advice is come explore. Oftentimes people will reach out to us and they'll say, I'm coming down to move. Where should I move? And we say, don't move here unless you've been here. Now, some people can't. They're on fixed incomes and they just want to move. My fear is always you won't be happy just coming. I don't think you could anywhere. You don't just move to New York and be happy, right? You need to know where in New York or Denver or Los Angeles or Austin or wherever. It's the same thing here. Different neighborhoods, different cities, different parts of the country will give you a different sense. So you really do need to explore. If you can narrow down into the reality you need and then figure out where that is and then explore that area, that to me is a great way to truly find where you want to be. Okay, that's my 10 questions. I hope you learned something. We're really excited to have you here. Thank you so much for watching this video and our other videos. We'd love to hear your story. If you are an expat and you've moved to Costa Rica or anywhere, answer the same 10 questions. Let us know why and where you're feeling today. We'd love to hear from you. Please reach out to us at hola@yourpuravida.com if you want to have a conversation, or if you just want to explore what we've put together, yourpuravida.com/links, and you can find everything. This is a community we're building because we want to help people realize that dream. And we're so glad to have you here. And until next time, Pura Vida.